Ask God to give you a desire for a clear conscience. A clear conscience is freeing. And what I'm afraid of in a lot of cases is that we have been so acclimated to a not so good conscience that we're used to it and we don't know it's a problem. So ask the Lord to reveal to you the state of your conscience. Is it clear? And so when we decide to clear our consciences, then it's laying aside heavy, burdensome baggage that weighs us down. It's freeing. So ask God, first of all, to make us want to, and to identify when we don't have a totally clear, free conscience. Number 2, ask God, ask the Holy Spirit to bring to your mind offenses which need to be cleared up. Just ask Him and be ready. Now, He may not blop them all out at one time, just immediately, but you be ready to listen to Him, to be in His Word, and you need a pencil and a piece of paper, or an iPad, however you do. I like pencil and paper. But ask the Lord where the offenses are in your conscience that need to be cleared up. They may be offenses against God. They may be offenses against your family, your spouse, against teachers, friends, neighbors, employers. The list can just go on and on and on, where you remember something that you said, something that you did, someone you made fun of, all kinds of things. But anyway, write them down. Just write them down. Now, this is just for you and the Lord. Write them down. This is a kind of good conscience worksheet, okay? And so write all of that down as these things come to your mind. Now, just write down what comes to your mind, and you're going to deal with it a little bit later. Now you're going to look at the list and see who those people are. See what the occasion was. And here's the next question. See if anybody on that list has offended you. Look at the list and see if anybody on there has offended you. Now, this is where it gets ticky. And this is why this is important. Let me tell you about it. It is easy to minimize or justify our offenses when I can blame somebody for them. So when I look down that list and see that, ooh, well, look what they did to me. They offended. And so when I do that, then I can justify what I did. That's not where we need to go with this. We tend as people to balance guilt with blame. A lot of times, if somebody's blaming you for something, it's because guilt is present. And so we can't balance guilt with blame. And so what happens is, oftentimes when we try to balance guilt and blame, it's keeping us from effectively dealing with either the guilt or the blame, because we're just okay with it. We can justify it. We can rationalize it. Most of us concentrate more on blaming others than we concentrate on our own guilt. It's human nature for us. It's the flesh. And so we think that if we can blame somebody, it must make us okay, or maybe not quite as bad as we thought. So when we write these things down, that helps us to deal with forgiving them, because that's what we're going to need to do first, is release forgiveness to them. Release forgiveness, and then we get in a position where we can deal with our own guilt. We can deal with what we did to offend somebody or to hurt somebody. So all through this process, we're going to be praying Psalm 139, verses 23 and 24. Do you know it? Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. See if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. So I'm going to be looking at the Lord through this process. I'm going to be alone with Him. I'm going to be encountering Him, and I'm going to be listening to what He says. Number 3, ask this question. If I were to ask those who are offended with me what I did against them, what would they say?